Hello and welcome to the 126th episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a knitter from Toronto and welcome to my corner of the crafting world. So I managed to make it a week later. That's good progress for me. I've got, for these ones, I've got one new cast on, 4 works in progress, 4 works in progress, no finished objects, but I feel like with the amount of progress that I made on some of these things, that's quite okay. So let's get started with my works in progress. Let's start with this one first. I put in these, oh, goodness me. Hold on, I forgot something. Okay, so let's get started on this again. So I had misplaced the sock. I don't know, I didn't realize I looked inside the bag to see that it was there. So I finished the first sock for my share a pair. Yeah, did I just finish off completely? No, so I did finish the first sock last week. I showed that off. And so I made some progress on the second sock. I haven't made it to the heel yet, but I think I have maybe about 10 rows before I have to put it in. So here's the second sock. Last time you had seen, I was right there with my progress keeper that every time I put them down, they always flip back on their own. I don't know why. So that's about as far as I've made it for these ones. So it's coming along quite nicely. I like the way that it's looking. And then seeing it beside the other one. Yeah, I think they're going to match up quite nicely. The yarn for them, one of them, the pink one is from, I can't remember, honestly. I never remember for these ones because the one that I got from the other person, I lost all the information that's regarding it. I just know it's really nice and I wish I had a full skein of it. So that is progress being made on that. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, that pair of socks will be done. Let's get to the next pair. This one here. These are the Twisty Staircase socks by Dana Ray Makes. I haven't made as much progress as I like on this, but I worked on other things as well, so I don't feel bad. Ooh, no, get your back like this. So last time you had seen, I was there. I have now, or was I, did I not touch this one? There is a very strong possibility that I did not touch these ones. If I did touch them, then yeah, I made it from here to here. If I didn't touch it, then I just forgot to move the stitch marker. But regardless, the yarn is from Area 51 Fibers in her colorway Spooky Speckled Donuts. I got it last year for the Halloween season. I just really like the way the colors work well together. So let's put that one away. I have no idea. Actually, I really don't think I worked on it. Okay, so my other project that I worked on was my 3-leaf socks by PEREIRA. I believe I'm getting it right. So yesterday I had one of those like, oh my gosh moments as I worked on it, because I was determined to make some progress on it, and I did. And then I tried it on because they're toe-up socks, and when they're toe-up socks, you always feel the need to try them on, especially when you've already made it past the heel. Any sock that you made it past the heel, either going toe-up or cuff down, I always want to try them on. So that's what I did with this, and I realized I like the length that it was at. So I'm doing these a little bit shorter than usual, but for sure, I know I worked on this. So this is where I was last week, and now I've made it up to this. I'm already on the last panel design, the last chart before you start the cuff. So I should be finished this first sock really, really soon. It's going to be a little bit longer than what I wanted, but hold on, let me put up a picture, because I took a picture of it on my foot yesterday, and that would have been the perfect length. Unfortunately, it was kind of late when I realized that, and I wasn't going to undo what I did just to get it to that length. So I don't want to do the full leg length that they say, because they say like do like 5 repeats of the pattern before you do the last chart, and then you do the cuff. It feels very, very long for these ones. I think these would look cuter when they're shorter. So the yarn that I'm using for this one is SKEIN or Shine in the colorway GRAMMIE'S Banana Bread. The pattern is from the book 52 Weeks of Socks. I don't know what number pattern it is. It's just called 3 leaves. So I really like the way that this has turned out. It looks so cute. I can't wait for these to be done so I can get to wear them. But then I still have the second sock to do, so I'll be doing this for a while. Next. All right, for this one, I'm letting you know from now, it's a shawlography. The knit-along portion of it is done. Steven has allowed people to post it up for free, but I'm still giving you a warning just in case you decided you don't want to be spoiled for it. This is the time to step away and not look. Okay? So you've been warned. I'm going to take it out so I can show it off. Okay. And here is where I am for my shawlography. I'm not in the middle of a row this time, so that's progress. Hold on. Get my yarn out of the way. So that's as far as I've made it now. I'm still on clue 2. Still on clue 2. But I think I did not move my stitch marker, but I think last time you had seen I was probably maybe about partway through there. So I finished that chart. I did the lovely little welts here. That's my first time working on them. And then I'm on a section called triangle, so that part's new for me as well. So I'm assuming I should be able to get clue 2 done, and then start at the very least start clue 3. I'm really liking it. I'm loving the colors. I'm loving the way everything plays together. I was always debating whether or not I'd really want to wear it, because number one, I've already determined Stephen West patterns. They are so much fun to do. You get to learn so many different techniques, but for me in general, they're not practical. Number one, I don't really wear shawls. That's just the end of it. Number two, I'm not that much into as many bright colors that all go together at one time. It's just me, right? But I really, really do love this. So I am going to continue working on it. And depending on how it is, I may just wear it as a scarf. I think yesterday I saw the last episode of the Les Garçons podcast with Max and Vincent. And Vincent finished his, and he wrapped it around his neck. And I'm there like, oh yeah, that looks good. I really, really like that. So I might do that for winter, depending how I feel. So I'm liking the progress that I'm making on it. I think it's so much fun to work with. I like all of the yarns that I'm working with as well. I think the colors are playing together quite nicely. It's just, yeah. I just love the way everything is getting its chance to shine. I just know that I have to do baubles at some point. Getting scared about that. Not necessarily I'm scared about it because I managed to make it through the welts. And the welts was scary. Because it involves drop stitches. I'm always afraid if I drop a stitch, it's just going to go all the way back to the beginning. But luckily I discussed it with somebody on the Zoom calls for Love and Stitches last week. Yeah, and she gave a good tip. And it's a good thing I listened to her, because when Steven also has it in his videos, however, he doesn't show it till like the end of how you do that thing. And it's just there like, why couldn't you tell me that before? So I'm happy I listened to her, and it made it so much easier to do that. I love this thing. I will continue to work on it. It's definitely not going to be done by next week, but that, like, honestly, let's be realistic. That was never going to be done for next week. I'm not that fast of a knitter. I have other things to do. So that is the end of my works in progress. So let's get on to the my new cast on. So hold on. My usual table here. It's actually my laundry basket that I put my a board on top of it. But however, I'm doing laundry right now, so the laundry basket's not there. So I've had to move some stuff around where I put them. I found a way to make it work somewhat, but it means reaching in different places. So last week I showed the yarn that I had gotten, the second skein I had gotten of Harry from Area 51 Fibres on her Sturdy Alien base, and the colorway was called Harry. So this now pair is for someone else, and I started them, and I didn't even realize until now, because now I'm looking at the at my sock that I did with it, that the color order, now the color order is different, but where I started it was different. So I haven't made it that far yet. So for me, this feels like I'm doing it all new again, because I have to cast on more stitches and I have to use a bigger needle because her leg is bigger than mine. So I have to make sure I balance it out well because I want these to fit her better. So this is as far as I've made it yet. I haven't finished an entire repeat just yet. But for this one, I guess right after the navy blue, I went directly into the cream or gray, which would be like this color here. So, is it? No. No, the color order is just completely different. Huh. She did say she was reworking her colors. Yeah, she may have played around with the order for it. It's not the same anymore. At least not the same that I got. Because the one I got, this one is from last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was... I'm pretty certain it was last year, not the year before that. So, put it this way, dyers are not going to always keep doing the same stuff that they always do. They may change around, and she has been saying she was changing around the order. So, mind you, the colors of these ones are much more intense than the old ones, but I do like mine still. So, yeah. Now this is going to be more fun because I don't know exactly how they're going to turn, what order the colors are going to exactly turn out until I finish one repeat. I got something fun to do. So, here's the sock. So soon for this one, I'm gonna measure the gauge. Because I'm so not used to working on a size 1 anymore. It feels very, very different. Like, it's not, I'm so used to my socks being a certain tightness to it. And it's not gonna be the same. So I just need to get myself adjusted for that. So that is my, oopsie. That is my new cast on. And honestly, I think that's everything. I did not work on my woolen honey sweater at all. I had mentioned it last week and people are saying, yeah, if it doesn't bring, because I did say I think I said, if I didn't feel like working on it, I'm not going to work on it. And some people took it as that means, okay, that means I don't like the project at all and I'm going to frog it. Oh no, I'm not frogging this sweater. I will finish this sweater. I just didn't feel like working on it right now. So hopefully soon, once I get some more projects off my needles, because I don't really plan on casting on anything really new, that I'll be more willing to get back to it to get it done. Because I have my plan set for next year. I even made myself a little notebook chart thing as to what needs to be done, and that means I need to clear off my needles. I don't want to have too many things to do. So that means I got to finish, like, it's basically that sweater. And no, as much as I say I want to finish the rose cardigan, it's not going to be finished by the end of this year. Because the only thing that's really holding me back of that is that I got to finish doing the mattress stitch. And I'm not looking forward to doing that. But I know once I get that part done, then it's just then it's just the knitting for the collar and all that kind of stuff, and that'll be fine. But something tells me I'm not gonna get all of that done by the end of December. So it will probably be like my secondary major project for the first quarter. That's the best way to say it. So I guess it takes care of all of those. I have no stash enhancement, so I guess we can sort of, if I want, yeah, if I want to, of course I want to. It's my podcast. I can do whatever I want. So let me just start discussing, because I made a little, where is it? I'm trying to get my mind adjusted and getting myself ready for my knitting projects for 2022. So I had said earlier on in the year that there were, different projects that I wanted to work on for next year. There were, I think I had 5 sweaters, but I put it down to 4. And then I thought to myself, like, why don't I just break everything down by quarters? Because I'm already planning on doing my, my pair of socks a month, the rainbow thing. I'm already planning on doing that. So, and I already had my colors picked out for all of that. So that's all fine and good. But since I want to do 4 sweaters, how about I give myself like 3 months to work on each sweater and see how well that works. I honestly can't make a guarantee that I'll get it all done as fast, because I'm looking at all of these. All of these are fingering weight, with the exception of one that is lace weight and mohair. So that's not going to be any faster. For sure, it's not going to be any faster. But hopefully I will, you know what, put little diagrams as to the project that I want to work on, and at least the name of the... No, I haven't even finished figuring out all the yarn that I'm going to be using for. The only one that I've 100% decided as the yarn I'm going to be doing is for my sweater for the first quarter. So the sweater for the first quarter is going to be the C6 or Cable 6 sweater by Helga Isagar. So it calls for a fingering weight, and there's another section, I think around the cuff and the collar, it requires another yarn to be held with it. I can't quite remember. I have it written down somewhere else. I'll go and look it up, and honestly I don't have the energy to do it right now. But I've already determined that I'm going to be doing it with the Knitting Loft boots in the colorway Honey. Because yeah, I had a hard time. I was nearly ready to make myself cry last week because I could not figure out the yardage that I would need. I thought I had figured it out before for that sweater, but then I realized the way that, because it's not knit in the traditional like top down or bottom up. Yeah, that's the thing. So from like the collar down or from the hem up, it's not done that way. It's done side to side. So the way that you measure the gauge and the measurements that you need are not going to be the same. But the only thing I was trying to figure out, I'm there like, okay, but taking my bust into account, which size do I go with? And I could not figure it out based on and how they were explaining it. I tried so many different ways of looking at it and trying to understand it, and my mind was just not working. I was getting so frustrated. I even went back to the designer's own website, and I still couldn't make heads or tails of it. And afterwards, I just put everything down and said, I'm not going to stress myself out over this right now. Let me give myself a little bit of time, and then I'll go back and look. Lucky for me, I don't know, the idea said, just Google it and see what anybody else says, because looking on Ravelry patterns, none of them really said, they just said, I did a medium. Okay, so where does the bust fit into that? That's all I need to know, because I can't have it too tight that it doesn't fit. Like, that's all I was just trying to figure out. And I was able to get it so that the way that the person did it, that they're like, this area here that you're looking on the pattern, that little word, that's going to work out to being your bust. I'm like, okay, thank you. Because once I figure that out, that makes everything else so much easier. So I now know what I'm going to be doing for that one. Hopefully I will be picking up the yarn within the next few weeks or so. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. Somewhere around there. 2 to 4 weeks. Within the next 2 to 4 weeks, I will be getting the yarn to get that project done. I also should double check on the needles I have. I don't know if my interchangeables are going to be big enough. That's the other thing I have to check, because if not, then I'm just going to have to get a pair of fixed circulars. Mind you, I know I'm going to love my fixed circulars. So now the next thing is, the last time I was at the loft last week, I saw yarn that I absolutely loved. And it was by Dells, dyed by Vincent from Les Garçons. And it took me a while to remember what it was and who did it. I just remember seeing the yarn and seeing the tweed in the yarn, and I really, really liked it. And I came to realize that it was a BFL polyamide or something like that. I just know it looked really, really good. And I'm thinking, okay, that would look great in a sweater. So I said, okay, let's see, out of the sweaters that I'm knitting for next year, let me see which ones require tweed. For the second quarter, the Rocket Tee. No, not putting tweed on that. The next one is Sand Waves by Ririko. I love Ririko, and if it was a sweater that I had already done by her, I would definitely do tweed for it. For this one, it's a lacy design, and I think it would look, it's like the yoke is lacy, and I think it would look really weird having something that was tweed for that. So it's probably not going to work. The other one was the SSK, or the Slip Slip Knit by Helga Isager. I've already determined, once I went to the loft and I saw that they were selling Lamaisa lace, I was just going to use that because there is a lot of yardage in that. So I would just need maybe just, I have to double check on the yardage. I have to start going over that. See the yardage that I need for that. And I've never seen tweed in anything that small. So we'll have to see. I might just, if I can't find a sweater to use it in, I might just, at the very least, buy a skein for my own rainbow sock knit along and use one of the colors for it. It might end up being one of the yellows, because I was just going through the colorways that are available still at the loft, because that would make it easier. Mind you, if that doesn't really work for me, then I guess I could always just order it from their website. But there was this, it was kind of like a mustardy type of tweed color. I can't remember what it's called, that they had in stock. So I might use that as a color. I don't know yet. What were my other colors that I could possibly, like, I'd have to go back into the store to really get to see it. I'm supposed to be going back there, not next week, but the week afterwards. Yes. A friend I've made online is coming up. She's visiting family for US Thanksgiving, and we're going to meet and go to the loft. So I'm looking forward to that. So when I go, then that is when I will check for it. Yeah, and then decide. I don't know if I'm going to buy the yarn that early. I may not need to, but I'll have to see. I think it would depend as to how much they have in stock. And that will help me make up my mind as to if I'm going to buy it now or buy it later. Because I wouldn't need it till like the second half of the year anyways, I'm pretty sure. Unless I got a really nice orange instead and went for a more muted type of orange instead. Decisions. So I still got to work it all out. Let's see. Anything else? No, I think I got everything. Because I got my first 4 skeins for the year for the socks. I know exactly what I'm buying for the sweaters. I got to decide on my colors as to what I'm going to do for the rocket tee. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. I just knew I didn't want anything like tweed. This should be fun. This should be fun. I decided I wanted to do that from like April to June in the second quarter, so that by the time summer really comes around, I could get to wear it. Mind you, come to think of it, considering it's for summer, it might be too hot like that. But I don't really knit in cotton. I don't know. I'm gonna have to decide. What I'll do is I'll look on the pattern site and see what other kind of yarns other people have used and see what it comes up with, what suggestions they have. And when in doubt, go in and ask the ladies at the loft. They will probably know exactly what to do, or at least have a very good suggestion. Yeah, so that's everything for that. Yeah, I'm pretty certain. So that's going to be the end of today's episode. I hope to see you again. I'm just gonna no, I gotta put in the pictures. I can't just put it up exactly like this. Okay, I will have to edit it. But you guys guys may not even see this because my mind is just rambling. I'm going off of no sleep because I could not sleep last night and it's starting to catch up with me. So it might be a little bit later tonight that it goes up as opposed to the usual around 4 or 5 o'clock when it does. It doesn't really make a difference. When you see this, you see this. So that's going to be everything for tonight. Have a good day and bye.